Hello and welcome to the Great Outdoors. You join me here in, well, just behind me is Point Clear. Not really quite sure where you'd class this as, possibly St Osyth, I'm not really too sure. I mean, where I'm standing at the moment, according to the map, is called Sandy Island. It's basically the spit that sits out in between the sea, Point Clear, St Osyth, Mersey Island and Bradfield, I think it is over there, you can see. Well, you can't see it, it's behind you. I've crossed over what they call Sandy Point. There's a bird hide there. Something they call Brightlingsea Reach. I'm guessing that can only mean that you can reach it by you looking over at Brightlingsea. I'm not really quite sure what that means. And also crossed over Ray Creek Trailhead, and there's lots of other things. There's a nature reserve down there, and a little bit further up is the St Osyth Beach and Nudist Beach, where you have seen videos of us camping before. I am on my own today. I've been wanting to do this for a while. I want to get the drone up. Looks like the weather's calm enough. It's not really windy at all. There's no rain expected today at all. We are at low tide. Low tide, I think, was at 3:20, the lowest tide. And it is now 3:20 exactly. So we are at low tide. It's a beautiful area, to be fair. You can see for quite a way. The thing is, when you're walking down here, you don't really know what's the other side without looking on the map, because the nature reserve is quite vast, and there's a lot of marshland. You can't walk on this. You're just walking on the beach and it goes up, so you can't see this side. So this is kind of the first proper glance I've got of the river that I believe leads down to St Osyth Creek. Yeah, so it's quite a different bit of a walk for me. I haven't done this before, wanted to do it, so's Kelly, but family permitting, that's not happened. I'm going to be doing a wild camp either this end of the spit or on the nudist area where we've done many wild camps before. Anyway, I'm gonna have a little bit of a sit down, get the drone ready and get the drone up here, because it's been one of the things I've been itching to do since I saw a video of Simon Outdoors. He put the drone up over here and it looked cool. So yeah, I'm going to copy him a little bit. Anyway, bring you back in a bit. This right at the end, well, not quite at the end, Sandy Point or whatever it was called, could be a potential wild camp spot, potentially. I know there'll probably be a lot of comments if anyone does watch this video of people saying, oh, you shouldn't wild camp there, blah blah blah, but you know, I would understand in the fact that predominantly the problem with wild camping here is that you would be potentially cut off at high tide. Well, no, there's no potentially. At high tide, you would be cut off from land. You're not that far from land, but you would be cut off from it. Because I would imagine this whole path, looking at it, probably disappears. You have possibly that might exist to an extent, but I doubt it. It's only really going to be this area. It's the same with over there, but that's not as flat. But this is actually a very flat area. If you weren't that bothered or the tides weren't that high, could be worth a little wild camp, because you've got a nice view over to Point Clear, as I say, Mersey, Brightlingsea. Yeah, you've got a view all round. It's a nice 360 view, to be fair, but you know, that would be your choice. Wondering if anyone in the comments comment on whether they believe that this sort of area could also be wild campable. I mean, it's flat, but I have to be honest, I'm not an expert on this sort of thing. I mean, like that area there looked perfect, but the fact that all this grass is here, does that mean predominantly the water doesn't really make it over there? I mean, it looks like obviously it makes it up to there. It's pretty obvious. You see the seaweed line, but there doesn't seem to be a seaweed line here. Or would anyone suggest that that is marshland, and when the tide comes in that will get wet? I mean, it's not wet at all as it is at the moment, which would suggest to me no. I won't wild camp here at the moment due to the sheer fact that I haven't got someone else's opinion. Kelly's the one who's a bit more clued up with that kind of thing than I am. But again, you know, lovely flat spot there. You're hidden because the bank's up there, so you're hidden from Leover Sands. Not that that matters that much, to be fair. You've got a bit of shelter from the wind coming directly off the water, because obviously you've got the bank. You know, what does people think? You know, would you look at that and think, do you know what, I'd wild camp there? Or would you not take the chance? Kind of nicer thing about it is this is a little bit more off the beaten track than, say, the nudist beach. We've camped there multiple times, and you know, plenty of others that also have. We've camped in groups over there, as you would have seen, so we know that it's perfectly fine to camp there, really. You know, as things stand, nowhere in this country you are legally allowed to wild camp, but it's an area where lots of people, I believe, wild camp, and you know, tend to get left alone. unfortunately quite a lot of those people have fires, they scald things, they leave a lot of mess, which, you know, doesn't go by the majority of wild campers of leave no trace. But yeah, be interested to know what people think of those little areas there, and even the one further back, whether you as a wild camper would be willing to wild camp there, or whether you think it's a bit sketchy, could get wet. Don't get me wrong, again, even here you could be in a position where you could get a little bit trapped, but again, as I say, I believe if you judge it by high tides, low tides, you'd be all right, to be fair. But yeah, see what people think. Put in the comments below. To just give you a little bit of an idea, here's the segregation sort of rope fence for the nature reserve. So as far as I'm aware, seeing as though the fence ends there, all of that this side of the marshes is not the nature reserve. Hello and welcome back. I'm to where I believe I'm going to camp now. It's pretty much precisely the same spot we've camped on 2 occasions. I think I'm going to set up there. I'm going to leave it a little while, it's still quite bright light, so I'll wait until it starts to get a bit darker. I've got the Nature Hike Cloud Peak 2 tent, so it's a fairly easy tent to put up. Not the lightest to carry on your own, but there's plenty of space in it. You've got 2 vestibules, so I can store in one if I wanted to. And just use the other one to get in and out if I wanted to also. And plus I have extra space inside because I've never actually used that tent on my own. It is one of Kelly's tents. I've enjoyed the walk down there. It was really nice, to be honest. I'm glad I got to get down there. The weather's been all right, been very cloudy. It's been warm on and off. It actually, funnily enough, seems warmer now than it did when I started. So, you know, that's quite good. I haven't got the warmest stuff for camping in tonight. Hoping I don't need it, but I do have my Rab coat and that with me as well to put on if I need it, and I've also bought my synthetic booties with me to wear in the sleeping bag, so hopefully I should be all right. It will be the first time I've ever done a wild camp on my own. I have done with my stepson. So I have slept in a tent, and I've done one with a friend of mine and slept in a tent on my own, but it's the first time I've actually gone on my own and been in a place on my own. So but again, this is something that I need to see if I'm happy with, to be able to do hopefully something next year that will be quite big. Well, it'll be big for me anyway. I've got my Jetboil with me to make some food, which I plan on doing in a minute. I don't think I'm going to do a huge amount of filming here now, because, you know, we have had 2, possibly 3 videos with camps here, so, you know, I don't want it to be too samey. This is more for me getting that little walk out the way that I did there, getting to see what I saw, getting the drone up, because it's something in particular when we got the drone that I said I wanted to do. So I've managed to do that now, so I'm happy about that. I'd like to take Kelly down there at some point, because I do think it's a nice little area. You know, you could spend a couple of hours just chilling out down there. Weather-wise, during the night, it's supposed to be pretty much like this for up to around 3 o'clock, and then there's supposed to be rain. Unfortunately, then there's supposed to be rain all through the rest of the night, all in the morning. So, you know, it will be a matter of having to probably take the tent down in the rain, or if we get a quick moment. But predominantly I can get most of my things in my bag. I have set it up so my tent is at the bottom of my bag in the zip up compartment where the sleeping bag would normally go, so I literally can pack everything up in the morning, and then make the tent the last thing. And I have got the oversized waterproof cover for the bag, and I do have waterproof trousers and a jacket. Dependent on how bad the weather will be, it will be where I head to. If it's not really heavy rain, I'll head that way, and I will go through the nature reserve to get home, because it's the easiest way for me to walk home, whereas going up to Seawick means I've got to walk along the main road, and we have done that before and it's not ideal. But if I have to, Kelly is only 5 minutes away. I could ring her and she could pick me up. So we'll just see what the weather's like and how we feel in the morning. I will bring you back in a bit when I'm going to do some cooking, and then we'll see where we go from there. So see you in a bit. Hi there. This is the meal I've got. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's a Summit pasta bolognese. I have had one once before in our mountain camp in the Brecon Beacons that we did this year. It's a pretty good meal. It's one of the best dehydrated meals I've personally had. What I've done is I've gone with a bigger size, but it's all right consistency wise. It's got chunks in it, but to be fair, like most of these things, it's predominantly a bit like a pot noodle, but it's got a higher calorific, I don't even know how to say it. It's got more calories in it, and there's a bit more consistency, I would say, and it's definitely, they're a lot more filling. I'll bring you back in a bit after I finish my food. Hello and welcome back. Well, yeah, that was nice. as I said before, I have had it before, so you know, it's not a review or anything like that. I'll be honest though, the bigger portion was too much for me. I feel quite full, so the smaller one will be more than ample for me. I suppose possibly if I'd done a lot more miles, you know, a bigger portion may have been needed. But I am all filled up now. Issue I've had is I've packed light, and the one thing I have realised is that predominantly water. I've really only got a litre of water, and that's all I've brought with me. So I'm umming and ahhing about having a coffee now or having one first thing in the morning, and having some water to drink, because as I say, I'm unsure at present what route I'm going to be taking. There is a shop down in Seawick which is about a 15-20 minute walk from where I am now, so if I choose to do that, I could get a drink there. But yeah, I'm going to leave a coffee for now. The Jetboil worked brilliantly. Thank you, my dear, for replacing that. I'm very grateful. I got it for my birthday this year. It was a big surprise, to be fair. Also, I've got a few new things that I'm using, some of which you won't really see. I have, for the GoPro, I have a small screen that fits to the top that I can use so I can see when I'm videoing myself, as I am now. I can see that I'm in view, because predominantly I've got a GoPro Hero 8 and that doesn't have a screen on the front, so you're kind of guessing where you're videoing. So but that works really well, to be fair. That's on right now. I know that I'm in focus. Well, I hope I am, but I'm pretty sure I am. It's got its own internal battery, so it doesn't drain the battery on your GoPro. You can switch it on and off when you like, so you only need it obviously for when you're videoing yourself. So that's a good piece of kit. I'm quite impressed with that. I've got a pair of new boots. They're Mammut boots. I'll put the name of the ones above me on exactly what they are. They've been really comfortable. It's the second time I've used them. The first time they were fairly comfortable. I bought a new pair of boots because I'd finally had enough during our Wales trip that my other boots were not waterproof, as you would have seen in that video. So I finally gone and bit the bullet and bought a far more expensive pair. Not that the other ones I had weren't, in my opinion, expensive, but these are a lot more expensive. I will show you a photo above of them. They're comfortable, they're nice, they've got a bit of orange on. Orange is my favourite. I've also got a couple of pairs of merino wool socks, which are blister socks as well, and compression socks. They seem to have been a bit of a game changer for me. Walking today, my feet don't feel bad at all. Now, don't get me wrong, it wasn't a massively long walk. I would suggest probably in total I've probably done maybe 5 miles. So not an awful lot, but with the surface it was on, with being sand and stones and stuff like that, they've worked well. They look like they're going to be a good investment. Got a new pair of trousers on. They've got a lining in them. They're not thermal lined, but they do have a lining, so they are warmer than predominantly any of my other trousers. They were bought in Go Outdoors. I will put the name above us, but they've been really comfortable. My legs haven't been at all cold. I mean, big question is how cold they'll be sitting here for a few hours, I suppose, but they seem a bit windproof. I think they're rain resistant, which obviously, as we full well know, a little shower, they'll keep your legs dry, but if it's heavy rain, you're going to get wet no matter what. Then we've got the top I'm wearing. It's a Northern Ridge hoodie top with a thin thermal lining inside it. This has been really warm, really comfortable. Yeah, got that in a sale again at Go Outdoors, so really impressed with that. Again, if I can find it on the site, I'll put a link above for it, but it's nice. It's a good fit as well. I'm quite impressed with it. Also, what else do we have? See, the Jetboil is a new Jetboil. It's not the same one I had before, but works really well. And also on the side here, this goes bright orange when the water is boiled, so that's quite handy. I've also got these gloves. They're waterproof gloves. They've got grippy stuff on them here, and they work on your phone, and they do work on your phone. I've had multiple pairs of gloves, predominantly the ones I mainly wear on camps. They're supposed to be working on phones, but they don't. But these ones work really well. They're also waterproof, and they've got a thin thermal lining in them, because I'd had enough of, again, when we were in Wales, that the gloves I have, they are warm when it's not wet, but they're not particularly warm if they get wet, and they weren't waterproof at all. So these are a little bit of an upgrade. I bought these on Amazon. Again, I will put a link above to these gloves. They are really warm. Not that I've worn them a lot at the moment, but you can feel they're going to be warm. As for the waterproofness, don't know. Hopefully they feel like they've got a good coating on them, so hopefully they'll do the job. Beyond that, I'm trying out a sleep mat tonight, which actually isn't mine. It's my wife Kelly's, the other part of the Great Outdoors. She's allowing us to give it a go. It has a R rating, I believe, of 5. Again, I will put the name above here of what it was. It was bought on Amazon. You can feel it as a foil layer. It's got 2 foil layers in it, one on the top part of it and one on the bottom. She has tried it just lying down for an hour or so at home with it, admittedly indoors, so you know, we'll have to wait and see. But you could feel the heat as soon as you lie down on it, sort of reflecting back at you, which is very similar to the Thermarests and stuff like that. So we'll have to see what that's like, because if it is anywhere near as good as one of them, I think we've found a bargain, to be honest. But she's not tried it. This will be the first time it's been tried. Don't get me wrong, tonight I don't think it's going to be massively... It could go down as low as 4 degrees. Could do. But it's not going down below freezing or anything like that, as far as I'm aware. So, you know, it's not a massive test of it, but it's first test, and we'll see how it goes, how comfortable it is, possibly how noisy it might be. I'll show you quickly around the pitch, and then I'm just going to chill out for a bit, and I'll bring you back if I think of anything else, or if anything interesting happens. Other than that, I'll probably just be bringing you back for bedtime. Okay, see you in a bit. Hello and welcome back. Well, I'm going to be honest, it literally is 9:10 now, and I'm going to turn in. I do have some new thermals to try in bed, but I'm going to be honest, at present I'm just going to get in my clothes. I'm quite cold at the moment. the temperature seems to have dropped quite drastically, to be quite honest with you. It suggests it's about 9 degrees. I'm going to suggest it's a lot cooler than 9 degrees. At the moment it's more like possibly 4 in my opinion, but anyway, I'm just going to get in on my clothes for now. If I start to get a bit hot, my thermals and that, my sleep clothes are just there. I do have a change of clothing in my bag anyway, so you know, I can change them in the morning into other clothing. You know, theoretically the weather's going to be pretty dismal, but anyway, I'm going to sign off for now, and I'll see you all in the morning. Night for now.
Morning everyone. Yeah, it wasn't the best night's sleep I've ever had, I'll be honest. This mattress is very warm. You can actually feel heat coming through it. So I will put the name above, possibly a link in the description of where you can get it. It's exceptionally comfortable, doesn't make any noise at all, so that gets a thumbs up. But it did get cold last night. As you can see, I do have the coat on. Yeah, it got cold. I don't know whether so much it was any colder than when I went to bed. But obviously, as you know, when you go to bed, you relax and your body gets a lot colder anyway. The weather report, funnily enough, was pretty much spot on. Come sort of around 3 o'clock, I think it was, 3-4 o'clock, it started to rain. It's raining now. It's not heavy, but you know, it is raining nonetheless. I'm going to get out of bed in a minute. I'll probably make a cup of coffee, and then I'll probably start packing down everything inside the tent. Yeah, so I'll bring you back in a bit.
There's the sleep mat packed away in its bag that it comes with, which is actually a really thick bag, but also something at its price range. Can't exactly remember how much it was, but as I say, I will put it in the description. It also comes with its own pump bag. Yeah, it's a small pump bag and will take you quite a while to pump the thing up, but the fact that it comes with one at the price range it's at and the thermal rating it has is really good. There's the make there, Atapa. I'm not really quite sure how you would sort of say that, but yeah, it's actually a really good mat, and if I'm ever looking to get a new mat, I'd get that, to put it that way, I reckon. I have decided to go a little bit different. I've decided to pack away first, then make a cup of coffee. As you can hear, it is raining reasonably heavy. But, you know, I kind of knew that that was going to be the case. Anyway, I've not got much more packing to do, other than obviously the tent. So in a minute I'm going to make myself a coffee and I'll bring you back then. Hello and welcome back. As you can see, I've made my coffee. I'm pretty much all packed away, obviously, as other than the tent, but I won't be videoing me putting the tent away. I think I'll just be ending the video here, because to do any kind of videoing on the way out means taking all the case off the GoPro, because the mod is not waterproof. And predominantly you've all seen this area multiple times in other videos, so it's not like you're going to be seeing anything any different other than seeing it in the rain. Another quick question while I'm at it. Jetboils, I think they're great. They're really, really good. I've now had 2, and I have to say the igniters on them seem to be rubbish. Is there something that I can do? Does anyone know out there that will make the igniter better? Because I click and click and click and click, and it takes forever to light. I mean, this time I've ended up using a lighter, which I brought with me because I knew I've had problems in the past. I thought originally that it might have been my original Jetboil, there was a problem with it, but it doesn't seem to be the case. This, you know, this Allsco's got the same problem. Is it because the little needle where the spark comes out sits right over the centre bit almost, like bends over? Do I need to bend it back so it sits over the gas? Any information regarding this that might help me out, it would be greatly appreciated, because I prefer not to always have to use a lighter. When you spend the sort of money on a Jetboil, you expect it to work the way it's supposed to work. I mean, the whole thing worked brilliant. It boiled half a litre of water probably in about 2 minutes. You know, so it works the way it should. It's just the igniter that seems rubbish. So if anyone's got any ideas. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, if you could click the like button. Any comments, as I always say, are always welcome. And I'll see you all again soon in the next adventure. Bye for now.